Andrew Berry was doing his thing at the NFL Combine. He talked about a lot of different stuff. He got into Deshaun Watson. He got into Myles Garrett. He even talked about Travis Hunter and some of the prospects. And we're going to talk about all these things, and including we're going to get to some question and answer with you, the fans. We're going to get to talk a deep dive into this NFL Combine, which is coming up, and we'll talk NFL Draft. We'll do it all coming up on this episode of The Ultimate Browns. Welcome to the fastest 30 minutes in all of sports. It's your boy G. Bush right here back again on the Ultimate Browns. We want to welcome everybody on in. NFL Combine is going on. Shout out to Earl the Pearl. He made it back, really lifted the spirits in the studio this week. Earl is back. You know, he had a tough situation with his mother passing, but we want to thank everybody for helping lift Earl up, giving him some great spirits and being supportive out there. It was great to see him back in the booth. Great to see him back at the UCSS today. We got a good show coming up for you, man. We're going to talk about a lot of different things. Andrew Berry, he was moving and shaking at the NFL Combine. This is going to be a big topic tomorrow on Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. So if you guys haven't really talked about this or got into it yet, don't worry. We'll break it all down for you on UCSS tomorrow. I believe Adam Nabula is going to be there. He'll be there. Me and Tyvis was on today. And some of this news was just kind of breaking when we left the studio today for UCSS. So I'll go through some of the quotes that Andrew Berry put down and some of the thoughts that we had talking about this as well. Matt Stafford rumors. We've been hearing Matt Stafford's rumors for a couple of days now. I'm going to throw those out to you guys, see what you guys feel about Matt Stafford, give a little temperature on how you guys feel about bringing him in and whether or not you guys will be interested in that. We'll always talk about the NFL Combine. Looks like Shedeur Sanders is not going to throw at the Combine. Do you guys have a problem with that? We'll talk about some of the prospects, talk about a lot of different things. And Andrew Berry even really jumped out and started talking about Travis Hunter as well. So we got a lot of stuff to get to. We're going to go for a lot of different things. And with this episode, what I want to do is I'm going to make it much more interactive. Right now, there's a lot of things going on with the Browns, but we kind of don't know where they're going to go. I want to hear your opinion because we've been doing a lot of talking about what we would do, what we would do at 4, what we would do, at 2, what we would do at the second round. Do we trade up? Do we trade down? Veteran quarterback, rookie quarterback, you're going to trade back into the first. We got a lot of different things. We have not been able to get the consistency and get the questions and some of the comments of the fans. So I'm going to be throwing some stuff out for you guys today. If you're in the chat, go ahead and throw your chats out there. We will be doing a lot of interaction back and forth, talking about what to do at the Combine and some of the stuff that's going on. First of all, I want to get to this. And I want to start with one Myles Garrett. Now, let me tell you this. I came out a couple of weeks ago and said, by no stretch of the imagination, Myles Garrett is done. He is not going to come back. And he's not going to be playing for the Cleveland Browns. We talked about that. I said, his team has been very upfront about him thinking about this for a long period of time. Myles Garrett has made his run on all of the podcasts, on all of the Radio Row stuff during the Super Bowl. He's talked about it, and his name is a buzz at the draft. Well, now we hear the rebuttal. We get the rebuttal from Andrew Berry. Let's pull this up here. We'll go over it. Andrew Berry looks like he's not going to play no games with you. Get this out of here. Bring that up. Boom. Let's go. See what Andrew Berry had to say. What is the status of Brown's position on Myles Garrett and his trade demand? Andrew Berry went on to say, quote, Myles, as you guys have all heard me say, he's a huge part of our organization. He's a really good person. He's an awesome player. We understand the trade requests and everything, but our stance really has not changed. We continue to imagine a situation where not having Myles Garrett as part of the organization is best for the Cleveland Browns. So I just wanted to hit that off the top. And with that, I'll open up any questions. So Andrew Berry comes in first and foremost. Pow! He smashed it on the table immediately. Before we even want to get into anything, I just want to let you know it's been a blessed day. This is a blessed day, saith the Lord. And Myles Garrett is a great player. And we look to not be trading Myles Garrett ever. Before he say anything, And so obviously that was something that was premeditated, right? He got to it off top. He went on to say this. Now, this is the crazy part about it. He went on not only to say he was keeping Myles Garrett, but talked about an extension. Is there a potential timeline for the Cleveland Browns to work out an extension with Myles Garrett? Now, this is crazy because Myles Garrett has always contended that he's played his last down. But I'm going to give you what I think about this on the other side when we talk about this, because this thing is about to get drawn on out. And it's getting drawn out not because maybe the Cleveland Browns aren't really shopping him, maybe because the Cleveland Browns aren't necessarily trying to trade him. It's because of the money. And the way that money is lining up right now, there won't be no trades before this draft. Let's get to this. Is there a potential timeline for the Browns to work out an extension with Myles Garrett? You go on to say, I think if you've probably seen over the past 5 years, whenever you get into extension talks, they can happen at any time. Barry said, I've learned not to predict those because oftentimes those negotiations, they just come up and down and back and forth. I think if you look at our history through 2020, we've had some that have occurred in March or April. We've had some that occurred in June or July. Some of these have occurred in the season. Some have occurred outside of the season, as late as December. So I can't begin to predict, but really do take the approach with our cash cap planning. We take multi-year time horizon and accommodate the flexibility that we need. Listen, what he just told you right there, boys and girls, let me get this up off the screens. What he just told you, boys and girls, is that I have the full weight of the Cleveland Browns purse book at my disposal. At any given time, we can drop that money on Myles Garrett. Right now, Myles is in his feelings. Right now, Myles has a right to be in his feelings. But let's not get it twisted. The Cleveland Browns, see, this is one thing I will give them credit for. And here's what I'm going to say. Hear me out. Because I've said this before, I think Myles Garrett is going to leave. But here's the thing. The Cleveland Browns don't have to take an L in this situation either. What do you mean, G. Bush? You've already taken an L going back with Baker Mayfield because you basically, Baker pretty much stopped answering your phone calls and you had to trade him. You had to move on for Baker. Deshaun Watson turned you down the first time. Because he did turn you down that first time, what'd you have to do? You had to dig deep in your pockets and you had to give Deshaun Watson a guaranteed deal. Right? You lost that deal. Now we got Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett comes out prior to the draft. But the thing about the Cleveland Browns is they don't have to make no move before the draft. Myles will probably love it because a move before the draft or sometimes during this process gets him to a place, the best place and best outlook for what he wants to do. Not for the Cleveland Browns. The cap hit is too massive. They got to move money around to even be able to move him. And the cap hit before the June 1st cap hit is astronomical. So Myles Garrett really got in front of this thing and was trying to make this thing move. He's still steadfast in thinking like, okay, I'm done. This is my last year in Cleveland. But what the Cleveland Browns got to understand is don't compound one L with double L's. What does that mean? Don't be hasty. You better sit back and think and look around, gather your thoughts. Because at the end of the day, you're going to have to renegotiate a bunch of deals before you can move Myles Garrett. You got to see what the picks is aligned with Myles Garrett. And you got a lot of wheeling and dealing. You need somebody to be desperate to get Myles Garrett. And from what I've been hearing with these picks that they've been offering, stop it. I heard some picks from Detroit. Detroit want to offer some picks that late first. Man, boy, if you don't get out here with that late first, that little for late first, we're not hearing from nobody perennial powers that make it to the divisional round or the NFC, AFC championship every year, giving us these little picks. Those picks are not going to do anything for us. Those picks are not going to do anything for us. Let's continue on. Andrew Berry was just not talking about Myles Garrett. Looks like Myles Garrett is going to be a candidate to be around at least until the summer. I fully expect him to be on this roster after the draft. And the Browns, they look like they didn't have a conversation. It was like, yo, we're going to chill out on all that. Myles will be in the building until we figure something out. Let's get to this. Other news and notes. Andrew Berry had a lot of other things to say. Couple of them, I don't like the way things is trending in terms of some of this other stuff he's talking about. Let's get to it. I've been talking about this since the injury happened. Go down to the first one. What is the update on Cleveland Browns linebacker Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah and the recovery? This don't look good, boys and girls. I wish I had more specific update for you on Jeremiah. Barry said, I could say that he's slowly making progress. He's going through all that's required medically, but I don't have anything specific on that. Now, come on now. Look. Let me tell you this. I done had neck injuries. I got neck injuries right now. I got ankle injuries right now. I got back injuries right now. There's 2 or 3 elective surgeries on the board right now. I'm just going to deal with the pain, though. I'm not making this about me. What I'm just trying to tell you is the nature of these type of injuries when you talk about a neck. When somebody says, I wish I had an update for you on Jeremiah, think about it like this. They never gave you an update to start with. What did they give you? That he was, banged up a little bit, What did they really give you in that? No one has a diagnosis. No one has a timetable. No one has anything like this. This reminds me of what happened to Ryan Shazier. We were looking for that information and it wasn't there. It wasn't there. And then you actually started to see what actual shape he was in. And then you realize, oh, this could be career ending. Yeah. If I were you boys and girls, and my prayers and thoughts go to JOK out there right now. I'm not trying to be hyperbolic, and this ain't about no ultimate Browns or anything. I'm praying for his recovery. But when people don't have no information and we going on 6, 7, 8 months and he's going to see specialists, that doesn't bode well for talking about being on the field. It just doesn't. It just doesn't. And I thought JOK was trending in a direction where he was going to be one of those guys. I mean, his year he had, not this last year, but the year before, tremendous. Do you think the Cleveland Browns expect Nick Chubb to re-sign before the start of free agency? This is another one. I would say at this point that we do expect Nick Chubb to hit the market, Barry said. Obviously, his contract is up this year. We'll meet with his rep and everything like that. But it's something that's obviously we need to work through over the next couple of weeks. That is another thing that does not look good. And this is always something and look, I don't, there's a couple of things that I get annoyed about a lot. There's a lot of times where I come on here and I give you the real deal facts. I give you the real deal. It may not be what you want to hear. And then when it all goes down, people just skim over it like I just didn't say that. And when it came to Nick Chubb, I told every single person to pump their brakes multiple times. From my colleagues on UCSS, from the people in the chats, from the people on Twitter and Facebook. I told you to pump your brakes. I said, bro, I tore my ACL twice. I've had the Achilles heel injuries. I've had all these injuries. And guys is prognosticating that they were going to bring back Nick Chubb and he was going to be the savior. And I said, listen, that's too much to be putting on that man. That's too much extra. Y'all got to realize you're not even back to really peak performance. You're still thinking, you're still trying to balance swelling and practicing 2 days in a row, little small milestones like that. Nick Chubb was hoping to get through this season without injury. Unfortunately, he was injured again with the stress fracture. So I feel like there's a bunch of people, including the Cleveland Browns, that expected Nick Chubb to come back and be 1,000% Nick Chubb, and he was going to show flashes of something. And now everybody's disappointed, like, oh, well, maybe Chubb ain't Chubb no more. And Chubb was never going to be Chubb this year. But the problem y'all got is this. He's not going to be Chubb this year. But I expect him this upcoming year to be fully ready to go. And this is where it's bad for us. because I don't want to see Nick Chubb walk out the door. And you add insult to injury to a team that's trying to find playmakers, that's trying to rebuild, that's trying to do a lot of different things. And you got Nick Chubb out here looking around, and he goes to the Steelers. Nick Chubb's mess around and go to the Ravens. Chubb is like, hey, I'll go down to the Natty and be a second team back. I'll go out to other places where they're going to give me an opportunity. Hey, Christian McCaffrey, y'all need a little something. And my dying desire, my burning thoughts and desires in my head is, I do not want to go see Nick Chubb come back and then us look like a bunch of fools again, because he is another guy who's a pillar of what your organization is about. You rushed him back. You thought he was going to be at. You got rid of him too soon, and now he cooks for another organization. I don't want to see that. So I don't like these news and notes in number 2. Would the Cleveland Browns be happy with either Cam Ward or Shedeur at number 2? We'll talk about this coming up here in a second. Both of those guys, excellent players. They're excellent prospects, Barry said. We're looking forward to spending more dedicated time with them, not only this week, but moving forward. They're impressive young men, not only on the field, but everything that their programs say about them. So all those decisions remain to be seen, but it's a good start with them so far. I think this is a great place for me to dip back and talk about what we were talking about earlier for you guys this far. Let's dip into that a little bit. Let's get to some of this chat. Let's get to some of your thoughts on what it is with Shedeur Sanders, Cam Ward. We've been hearing a lot about Abdul Carter. Let's get to the comments. What are your thoughts about what we talked about so far? Let's get to it. Oh, man. We start off early. The super chat is ready to go. My man, James Crosby, we appreciate you so much. He didn't want to say nothing. He just said, let me just show you something, bro. And I appreciate that, man. Definitely, man. So much. Let's see. Rob Cunningham says Earl for president. Of course, man, all day, man. Wahoo fan. G, you mentioned Andrew Berry. That scares the heck out of me. Berry still has his job will now draft 9 players. Let me tell you about this, Wahoo fan. So here's what we're going to have to go through. This is going to be a make or break year for Andrew Berry. And the great thing about this and why I'm excited about this year for Andrew Berry is because people's feet are to the flames. I even like some of his more open questions and answers at the combine. I love it. You know why? Because he's going to have to coach for his position. He's going to have to coach for his job. He's going to have to coach for a lot of different things. That's what he's going to have to do. Not coach, but he's going to have to pick these players. He's going to have to be picking people with confidence. He's going to have to swing for the fences. And this is what I want my people to do. I don't want you going into nowhere drafting safe. That's out of my vocabulary. I don't want you going nowhere talking about this is the safest player in the draft. I don't want to hear that. I want you to find me ball players, bona fide guys that can get you where you're going. Because what you need in this draft, you need guys that are going to overachieve. You need guys that will make plays, and you're going to need guys that can really cover up from a lot of stuff. If you miss on one guy last year in the 5th, you got to hit on the 5th. If you missed on 2 4th rounders, the 4th rounder you get this year, he better be worth the last 2 years. He better be, you need makeup production. I'm excited about the fact that they have to go into this thing with their backs against the wall. Brian Summer says, I think the Sanders talk is smoke. Now, here's the crazy thing about this, Brian. I'm trying to figure out if the Travis Hunter's talk today was smoke. Throw something in the chat. We're going to talk about that when we get back to. Put a 1 in the chat if you really straight up feel like the Browns is interested in Travis Hunter. Put a 2 if you think it's smoke screen season. 1 if they're interested in Travis Hunter. 2 if you feel like it's a smoke screen. I was kind of confused. It seemed like Travis Hunter's name came out of nowhere this year at the combine. Speaking of, I'm gonna do this actually a little backwards. But we're gonna do it anyway because I can do that. Boy, I can do that and get that off. Hold on. I'm gonna read this. This will help you guys out somewhere. We do this. Let's go ahead and do that before y'all even vote. This was at the combine. It says, what position did Andrew Berry think Colorado's Travis Hunter will be a best fit at? Now, I thought this was very interesting because all we heard is quarterback talk so far. We haven't even really dipped and dived and got into Abdul Carter. A lot of fans like Abdul Carter. But Travis Hunter, I thought it was interesting. He said about Travis Hunter, well, I'd say in terms of Travis, cornerback and receiver, Barry said the answer is yes. So he can play both of them, and I think that makes him special. We would see him as a receiver primarily first, but I think part of it, again, what will make him a bit of a unicorn is the fact that he could do both things at a high level. Now, listen. Now, here's why I'm asking y'all this question. At what point in time has your boy Andrew Berry ever said these two things? Special and unicorn in the same sentence. Come on now. You know good and well, y'all G14 classify. Y'all don't even get excited when y'all have children. Y'all be like, yeah, this is a great day. Thank God for this beautiful young baby. Time to go back to the drawing board. You're like, what, bro? You just had a kid. When have you heard Andrew Berry say unicorn and special in the same sentence about anybody? Then he comes straight out and says, hey, look, man, we see him at receiver, though, too. We like him at receiver first. Is this just because their backs are against the wall and he just has no reason to be, like, covering his hand? Or does that seem kind of forward for y'all? To me, as I analyzed this after it came out, it seemed like he kind of forward on this. Like, that seemed real forward. DeJuan Jones. What are Cleveland's concerns with DeJuan Jones after knee surgery? I say with individual energy itself. Let me knock on wood because this went wrong. This went the wrong way for us last year. But the injury individually itself is not something that is creating a lot of anxiety, Barry said. But we do want to focus on making sure that that one can end up the season healthy because durability is a huge part of it. And we're a better team when he's on the field and he's healthy. So that's a major, major focus of the offseason program. This is another thing. This tells me the Cleveland Browns will not be drafting offensive linemen in the first couple of rounds. And that I'm totally fine with. He's very high on DeJuan Jones. They're a better team with him on the field. I think he makes that a point of saying that. But if he was playing smoke screens, he could have downplayed the DeJuan Jones health. Well, DeJuan, he's on target. He's on schedule for meeting all his milestones. But as again, we're always looking to upgrade and be better at those positions, especially premium positions like a left tackle. So the more bodies and the more good players you can have at those positions, the better. He could have gave you that. He didn't give you that, though. So it's just funny. It's just funny. He might have been playing around with y'all with the Travis Hunter window. Let's see what you guys got to say about it. I thought that was a little cap worthy. I said, this seems like it's kind of. Let's get to it. Where's the ones and twos? Okay. Let's see. What we got? Hey. Travis Hunter got them ones. One. Yeah, you listen. Y'all think he might like Travis Hunter. One of you like Travis Hunter or you feel like it was a smoke screen. We got a one. Here come the two. Here come the smoke screens. We got a one that he really liked Travis Hunter. Yeah, Brian Summers has a smoke screen. No Days Off still got the greatest name in the game. No Days Off. Two, smoke screen. My man, like 100% smoke. Let's see. Smoke. Kevin Jones says one. Scott Lambor says, I think right now 7 in play at number 2. I think that means 7 guys are in play at number 2. I wouldn't be surprised if that was it as well. Let me see. 1, 2 for sure. No Olsen's. It's cap. This is definitely a smoke screen. Kevin Jones said they like him. So listen, this is very, we 50-50 with a lot of this though. this is why the draft is going to be very, very, very interesting, because don't believe what nobody. Here's one thing that's capped for everybody. If somebody tell you that they know what's going to happen, they're lying. They're lying. You don't know if it's going to be a D lineman, trade back, Shador, Cam. You don't know if it's Travis Hunter. We don't know none of that. That's why this is going to be one of the most interesting off seasons that we done had in a while. With that being said, we're gonna take a little break. When we come back, Matt Stafford. I got to get y'all's opinion on this. They talking Matt Stafford? Y'all help me understand this, man. Help me understand the Matt Stafford conversation, because I thought you guys wanted to turn the page on retreads. We'll come back and talk about it right here on the Ultimate Browns. Tonight, make sure y'all tune in live. Cavs play tonight. They play in Orlando. Mikey McNuggets is going to have a post-game show ready for you, ready to go. Cavs, best record in the Eastern Conference. They got a couple of big games coming up this week. We got the Orlando Magic on the road. We got the Boston Celtics on the road on Friday. We're going to figure out what they're talking about, man. It's going to be a great couple of days to see what the Cavs is really getting into before we start getting down the backstretch. Ultimate Cavaliers, make sure you check that out tonight. He'll be doing the post-game type press conference thing. Mikey McNuggets will. Make sure you guys check that out right here on the UCSS network. Back to the fastest 30 minutes, and it ain't even 30, bro. I'll be talking. I'll be over talking sometime, but it's cool. We'll go over a little bit. I wasn't here last week. Thank you guys. Had a little surgery, so we appreciate y'all, man. I'll give you a little overtime this week. Let's get to this Matt Stafford thing. I need y'all really to talk to me on this one, because I'm confused. So, I was laying around and people start to talk about the whole Matt Stafford to the Browns, which is crazy to me. And I was like, why would Matt Stafford go to the Browns? Like, why would that even be a thing? We'll just go to this. Let me see what this is. It's a little bigger. Can we get that on here? We'll see. Pull this up. Y'all up here. Let me see. Okay, we'll get Matt Stafford on here. Here we go. So as you can see this, right? And we talking about Matt Stafford here. Matt Stafford trade rumors: Giants, Browns, Steelers, Raiders amongst the teams eyeing Matt Stafford, right? Let's see if we can make this. We'll see if we can make this a little bit bigger. All right, here we go. Says right here. There are several teams reportedly targeting Los Angeles Rams quarterback Matthew Stafford in the trade market. According to Sports Illustrated, Albert Breer, the Giants, the Browns, the Pittsburgh Steelers, and Las Vegas Raiders have all expressed a desire to acquire Stafford. Breer noted that other teams have shown interest as well. Jordan Raanan says also reported the Giants acquired about Stafford's availability prior to the November 5th draft deadline during 2024 season. The Rams may choose to move on the veteran passer in order to avoid paying out his remaining contract, as he is set to make $49.7 million cap hit in 2025 and $53.7 million cap hit in 2026. Jeremy Fowler revealed on February 26th that the Los Angeles Rams has a strong interest in retaining Stafford, but explained that he's going to need a new deal as his contract's current terms are unattainable. So let's take a look at his numbers. He's 1 year removed from a Pro Bowler in 2023. In 16 starts, he completed 65.8% of his throws for 3,762 yards, 20 touchdowns, compared to 8 interceptions. Stafford also racked up 533 yards and 4 scores without getting picked off in 2 playoff games. So what they're telling me is that Matt Stafford played pretty well in the playoffs. And But but the part that gets me right now, Chad, let me figure this out with me, Chad. I'm confused. You telling me he's 37. You paying somebody $50 million this year and then 53 next year? How many years is you planning on getting out of him? He's from LA. He's used to playing in warm weather. He went to the University of Georgia in college. He played the first part of his career in a dome in Detroit. He's played the second part of his career in Los Angeles and underneath on carpet. I mean, is this what we're doing? And they want a pick. And they want a first-round pick. So you telling me you're going to give up a first-round pick and pay a guy for. I thought we just got through this. This is my point with y'all. I heard all offseason how we got fleeced with Deshaun Watson and the 3 number 1 picks. And he's sitting out and he was disgruntled in another place. Now, we finally are like, okay, well, we're saddled with that one. So you telling me you're going to pony up and give Matt Stafford a new deal? And he done threw for like 20 touchdowns? Is he an upgrade? Sure. Yeah, you upgrade. But like that? Let me talk to y'all, man. Yeah, I mean, let me talk to y'all, man. Let me get to y'all. Woo. Let me see. Always humble 216. Thank you. Thank you, of course. There's no sustainability in Matt Stafford. I don't understand the obsession with these temporary fixes. We need long-term. This is what I'm saying. You work with me and I work with you. People, look, this is what this has got us. Deshaun Watson didn't work out. Now, instead of me tripling and doubling down and doing all that, you know what I'm doing? I'm like, listen, we got to find us a solution somewhere. And it's not going to make Jameis Winston the quarterback. It's not going to go get Aaron Rodgers, who's 40. It's not to go get Matt Stafford and give up some picks and give him another contract. Come on, fellas. When are we going to stop? Listen, one of my greatest soundtracks of all time, I think it's Rocky 3 or 4. What's the one with Ivan Drago? There's no easy way outs. There's no shortcuts home. Ain't no shortcuts home, fellas. Ain't no easy way out. You're going to have to stand there, look at a quarterback at whatever position, at whatever spot you're going to do, and take him and say, we standing on business. That's the only way. You know how the Philadelphia Eagles was rewarded? The Philadelphia Eagles was rewarded for being like, yeah, we had Carson Wentz. And we spent a number 2 overall pick on him, but we found out he wasn't no good. We had Doug Peterson. We found out, you know what, he won a Super Bowl. We're going to get him about here too. And they stood on business and said, I'm going to take Jalen Hurts. And people thought they was crazy. Jalen Hurts. Listen, Jalen Hurts, people talk about who would be great in this draft class. Jalen Hurts in this draft class, or the last one last year, would have been in the 6th round. Forget number 2. Jalen Hurts has some of the most nastiest college tape I've ever seen. But that just goes to show you're rewarded for your foresight. You're rewarded when you go develop people. All of this, let me take somebody's leftovers from 3, 6, 7 years ago and giving them new money. I thought we learned from that. Y'all told me all year, G. Bush, we got to get a quarterback and develop them. And now we're going to get the Staffords? Boy, Scott, I hope so. I hope so. At Jake Dreyer. And more often than not, they're drafted to bad teams with bad coaching, and we blame them for the situation and call them bust. At some point in time, and I said this, and people get mad at me, at some point in time, this is just the truth. Kevin, you're going to have to coach somebody. You're just going to have to. That's what you get paid for, right? You're going to have to turn somebody into somebody. You're going to have to develop a relationship with somebody. You're going to have to coach some bad things out of people's system. And I'll give Kevin something. Usually, I'll give Kevin this. When you do take over for other people, as you did with Baker Mayfield, and as you did in going to go get Deshaun Watson, people are who they were before you got there. It's very difficult to change an adult's ways and the mind and the way they think about the world, and especially their habits. Your habits are pretty much who you are past the age of 13 or 14. I ain't seen too many people change their life unless something really dire happened. They give you 25 years, you switch up. You almost die, you switch up. You lose everything, your money and your house, you switch up. But other than that, it's very difficult for quarterbacks to you inherit a quarterback and then all of a sudden you just, all right, well, he's going to be good because I told him to be good. That's not the way it works. So when it comes to some of the downfalls of Baker and Deshaun Watson, it's difficult to coach that out of people. But when you get a quarterback that you invested in, that you identified, that you went through the tape with, that you drafted, that you got the hat, that you've been in the meetings with, that you started from ground zero from the first day of install, here's the play call, here's how we call it, here's how we huddle it up. When you do that, you can do something and change some people. I'm telling you, Bo Nix wasn't that good coming into that draft. Bo Nix wasn't that good. Sean Payton coached him all the way up. I'm telling you, Jaden Daniels wasn't that cold. Jaden Daniels got coached up along the way that first year. Some of these young boys is not finished products. You're going to have to put some work in with it. That's just is what it is. Here's the thing about Matt Stafford. He had 0 playoff wins before getting traded to a team that went 10-6 and won a playoff game the season before. So what you're saying was, you already had ball players. Don't act like you didn't do no heavy lifting. You think Matt Stafford gonna come out here? You know what kind of playbook your boy got? You know what kind of playbook McVay got? You think Stafford want to come out here and I'm just asking. Hey, Broadview Bo, not for that kind of money. We can't take that cap hit. And by the way, hit that like button for me. I appreciate y'all. We don't have the cap space to get a second high money quarterback, let alone a 37-year-old. This is just immediate getting bored. Hey, I'll give you that, man. 7 Life Entertainment. It ain't no quick fixes, bro. I'm sorry. Hey, listen, that when Myles Garrett went in and asked for that blueprint, reason he came up out of there teary-eyed, come on, man. I can't believe they told me ain't no quick fixes. They gonna tell me I ain't. Yeah, they told you straight up. Hey, dog, we ain't got no magic pill for you, bro. We ain't got nothing. Hey, and this is the beautiful part about it. And I told you so radio, but I said, look, man, they miss on that Deshaun Watson. There's no veterans that's going to come in here. There's no like, hey, we got a quarterback class on the horizon that they're going to give us, that these guys are Joe Montana and Steve Young. Nah, bro, ain't no easy ways out. It ain't. It's just not. Grass and Bass, we need 2 rookie QBs. I'm right on you. I am on you. Always humble. Y'all kicking knowledge today. Stop renting cars. Get your car your own. That's yours for a while. Y'all better stop going to Rent-A-Center. Hey, remember, people thought they was cooking with Rent-A-Center. I got the Hitachi 3000, the big screen. People was getting the Rent-A-Center for the Mike Tyson fights. How you rent a VCR? People still paying 96% interest rate on VCRs from 1984. Oh, goodness. Yeah, stop renting. Get your stuff on your own. Get your stuff on your own. You have coaches that have a playbook, and you have coaches that can build around a quarterback. Telling you, man. I'm telling you, stop playing around with this thing, man. We're going to go to break real quick. We're gonna come back and we're gonna talk about some things. We talked about the Travis Hunter thing a little bit, but I'm gonna get you guys' opinion on this, man. I want to hear where you guys want to go with the draft, because there's so many of us talking about where we think they're gonna go. Every single day I wake up and hear something new, and I'm like, oh, I kind of like that move. I kind of like that. We'll come back and we'll get your thoughts on it right here. It's G Bush posted up with you on the Ultimate Browns. Well, of course, you know it's the Ultimate Browns. Every single Tuesday we put the clips out 5 o'clock right here on UCSS. But don't forget, man, if you like Ultimate Browns, you're gonna love the barbershop, man. You're gonna love it. Make sure you tune in. We make our return. The first 2 episodes of the barbershop been going crazy, man. Make sure y'all check that out. 2 hours, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. It's a laid back atmosphere. We do 2 hours. We don't do no breaks. It's just me and you. We talk about everything in the sun. We got a little more multimedia. We do some videos in there. We put the chat up all the time. We talk more interaction. We not only talk about Browns, we talk about Guardians. We talk about the Cavaliers. We talk about national stories. We talk about everything on the barbershop. So if you're a big fan of radio and the radio format, all we doing is we bigging that up. We bring some extra energy to it, and then we do that on the barbershop every single Saturday, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Get your coffee ready. We'll come up, and it's a real relaxed atmosphere. Make sure y'all check that out right here on the UCSS network. We back again. We're doing a little overtime. It's about 7:02. See, this is what G Bush does. I'm supposed to do a half hour. I said I feel bad because I didn't talk to y'all last week. We don't give you your money's worth. That's what we do over here. 191 people here live. Make sure you hit the like button for your boy. We're talking a little bit about what you guys want to do with this draft. This draft is very interesting. Here's what I've been thinking about as I talk about the Browns. And I was talking to Tyvis about this off air. I said, listen, I told Tyvis, listen, if you are willing to take a quarterback at 33, or you're willing to package something up to get back into the first round, if you take a player besides a quarterback at 2, I am for it. Let me explain it. Now, I've already said it. I would take either Cam Ward, whoever's there, Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders at 2. Some people don't like it because they don't think Shedeur Sanders is a sure thing. Now, I've watched all his tape. I've watched every single game that he's played two or three times by now. I've seen all the throws he's made. I've even now started to watch Cam Ward's Washington State tape. That's how much I've been watching these dudes. Now, when it comes to upside and arm strength, I think Cam Ward is a better spinner of the football because he has more arm talent. However, when it comes to the cerebral part of the game, understanding coverages, anticipation, throwing guys open, that is Shedeur Sanders. That he is by far, to me, he's the more cerebral of the 2 quarterbacks. The reason people don't really give him the upside is because he has an above average arm. I would say he has an above average to good arm. I would say he has a good arm. He's just not going to blow you away by throwing the ball through a wall or something. That's just not what his game is. However, you look at other quarterbacks who don't have an exceptionally rocket arm, the Drew Breeses of the world. I would say Joe Burrow doesn't even throw the ball that hard, but those guys are great because they can do all of these other type things and navigate the pocket and so on and so forth. He's not a perfect prospect, but what I'm saying is this. If you say Cleveland Browns going to have to come away with one of those 4 players, it's either Abdul Carter, it's either Travis Hunter, it's either Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders. I need one of those guys, whichever you guys you want at 2. Take one of those. If it just so happens to be, say, we'll just go along with either Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter. Since they said Travis Hunter Day, let's go ahead with Travis Hunter. They take him at 2. Now, if you take him at 2, chances are the Giants will take Shedeur Sanders, whoever left, and they'll draft him. Now, here's what you got to look at. The Browns have another pick at pick number 2. It's the first pick in the second round, at pick 33. As long as they take a quarterback there, if they don't take one at 2, I'm good. And let me explain why. because I believe it kills 2 or 3 birds with one stone. You're going to get one of the best blue chip prospects. I feel there's only, to me, if you ask me blue chip prospects, I think there's 3 of them. I think it's Abdul Carter. I think it's Travis Hunter, and I think it's Ashton Genty. But you won't take a running back that high, so he kind of doesn't get mentioned. But I'm gonna tell you something. He is a blue chip player. But if you can get one of those blue chip players and say it's Travis Hunter, and you can get a guy that's going to be a lockdown corner and a guy that's going to be a receiver, and he's going to be almost a number 1 receiver, and I get 2 positions, I take him. And then if I'm seeing the way the board is shaking, and I see guys like Jackson Dart moving down the board, people's whispering. And Jackson Dart, if it's a Will Howard, if it's a Jalen Milroe, if it's a Curtis Rourke, if it's any of these guys, not they got this dude from Louisville, I don't know what his name is, Sowers or Sewells or whatever this name is. If I got a quarterback with my eye on it and my grade ain't that different from the grade I had for Shedeur Sanders, by all means, I'm taking one of those 3rd round picks or whatever I need to. I wouldn't even say 3rd. I take a 4th or something. And I'm going to package that up to get back into the 1st round and take the quarterback. Now you have the quarterback with the extra 5th year. That's the key. The Browns cannot wait to the 2nd round to draft said quarterback because we want the 5th year of control. With that 5th year of control, we get a guy on a rookie deal. Great. And 2 or 3 more years if we want to just actually be dumb and just go ahead and, franchise him. So now you got your quarterback and you got one of the best blue chip players coming out of that draft. If you don't like the 1 at 2. So I'm here for it. But it has to be done. They got to move back on up. Either way, the quarterback has to be had very quickly from 15 to 32. That's my thought process. Am I tripping? Let me know what you think about that. If you guys say Abdul Carter, I ain't got a problem with Abdul Carter. People think, oh, you're an Abdul Carter hater because you want a quarterback. No. I'm just saying this got to be a blue chip player, and you're going to have to get you a quarterback, and that quarterback got to be coming very quickly after you get Abdul Carter. And I'm talking about Jackson Dart. I'm going to let you know, Jackson Dart is a top. He's going to go in the first 25 picks. I'm going to let you know that right now. He's going to go in the first 25 picks. Sorry. It's already moving. That's the way it's going to work. So let me know if I'm crazy. But as long as I can get the quarterback with that 2nd pick, with whoever you want, I'm fine whatever they want to take. That's on them. They better. But here's the thing. If they pass on Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders and they turn out to be a baller and they turn out to be a franchise guy, they're getting fired. Just let you know that right now. They pass at your own risk. All right, let's get to what y'all talking about. Let me see what y'all talking about. Y'all been doing. Let's see. We'll start with this. You said we need 2 quarterbacks. Yes, we do. I would take another quarterback in round 4. Give me somebody that people. I take another long shot. Give me a Dylan Gabriel. Give me a long shot. Yeah, I'll take Quinn Ewers at 4. Give me one of them dudes. You see what I'm saying? Let's see. Jake says, no matter what next season we are cooked, Andrew Berry will find one solid starter out of 11 picks we have. Our only choice is to fire him after the season. The only way he keeps his job, if you want him gone this season, the only way he keeps his job is if the guy that they pick at quarterback turns out to be a franchise quarterback. It doesn't matter if Abdul Carter hits. It doesn't matter if Travis Hunter is great next year. If they didn't find a quarterback, they're gone. It's going to have to be on Stefanski. I hear you. Hey, Kevin. Hey, Bo Nix was the 5th best quarterback prospect at 12 pick last year. And guess he balled out, didn't he? Balled out, didn't he? Let me get a couple more in here. Foxy says, now, finally, media mocking QBs to the Browns. They saw the pushback. Yeah. Like all this noise about we could go into the next season and just do it. We'll just go into the next season and we'll wait till 2026 and get our guy. Stop playing around. Stop playing around. Let me see. Dragon the Abandoner says, we need Cam Ward and Stafford. I don't know what kind of... Look, here's what I will say, though. If they're in... everything is on the coaching staff in the front office. If that's the route they want to go, I'm not going to give very much pushback, but it better work. It better work. If they can find the money somewhere to get creative and get Stafford and Cam Ward looks like the franchise quarterback, all right, everything's good then. But it better work. I see the Cleveland Browns signing Cousins and having us finish 9-8 in 2025, saving everybody else's job again, but losing out on a future quarterback and setting us back for even longer and having to gut everything. That's the worst. That's the worst. That's the worst thing that could possibly happen. If you bring Kirk Cousins in here, you still have to get 2 more quarterbacks. The quarterback of the future must be here. Must. Because I can see Kirk Cousins being good enough to get you to 9-8. But all that does is push you back another year. And guess what? 9-8 does not say, hey, we're going to be drafting in the top 10. No, you're going to be drafting like 17, 18. It might be 20 plus. You're not going to sniff a quarterback. And then you have to put yourself in a position to move up and mortgage future picks to be up in the first round. If there are said quarterbacks that are good in next year's draft, you're going to have to mortgage future picks to get those, right? Where now you have those said picks, you can just take whoever you want and be cool with it. Giants took Barkley at 2. Yeah. But running backs traditionally don't go that high. I think the Trent Richardson went 3 to the Browns. You know, they like to not choose those guys. Yeah. Let's see. I'm liking the fact that everybody's talking about these 2 quarterbacks. I love it. We catching steam on that. Mike says, yes, Dylan Gabriel. He was my first pick back in December. I need one of those. Give me one of those guys and give me a dude that you feel like, okay, he's the prototypical quarterback. And then another guy that was a college quarterback that was great winner, won a bunch of games, throw a lot of yards. Give me one of those guys too. Let's see. And let's do a couple more. Tribal Judah, Abdul Carter at 2. Quarterback Will Howard at 33, running back next fix the line in free agency. But don't be surprised if you see the Browns get a running back high. Running backs are going to go high off this board. The kid from North Carolina, Amarion, I forget his last name. Amarion, his first name, but he's a dog. Trevion Henderson is going to go high. Ashton Genty, I'm telling you, people talk about he Christian McCaffrey. Ashton Genty is a boss. He is not playing around. Like, he is a bona fide running back. He's legit. Let's see. And Hunter at 2, Shiloh. This is why I got this is why I can't mess with y'all, man. Hunter at 2, Shiloh at 2nd, or 3rd round. Yo, you want the whole family here, bro. I ain't mad at it, man. And last but not least, man, if I'm the Browns, I would take Cam Ward or Shador in the first round. Second, I would take Will Howard. In 3rd round, I would pick up Jackson Dart or Gabriel in the veteran period. Y'all cats, why? They want that Project Stockpiler in full effect. Full effect. Y'all ain't playing no games, huh? Man, I appreciate y'all, man. Man, it's always good to touch base with y'all, tap in with y'all, man. Make sure you hit the like button, man. 174 people in here. With that being said, we're going to shut this down. But guess what? Make sure you check back in. Barbershop, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. On Saturday, we're going to be talking about a lot of things. There's a lot of things. We're going to be recapping the Orlando Magic game. We got to get to. They put the Cavs play the Celtics. We got to get to that. The NFL Combine will almost be over by then. They're going to have guys running on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We'll get to Saturday. We'll recap a bunch of that. We'll talk about winners and losers. It's going to be a great show. So make sure y'all tap in with that on the Barbershop. Subscribe to Garrett Bush on my YouTube channel. It's called The Barbershop. Just search Garrett Bush, or you can search UCSS, and you can watch it on there as well. With that being said, man, you always know I'm going to give you the fresh cut whenever it comes to this sports talk, man. We appreciate everybody in the building. Make sure you check us out. We'll be back same place, same time next week. And make sure you watch tomorrow, 11 a.m., UCSS, they'll be breaking down some combine stuff. Jason Lloyd of UCSS is out there in the athletic. He's out there breaking it down for us. With that being said, you never know where G. Bush might show up on radio, television, internet. But if you want the fresh cut on sports, G. Bush is there. And keep the couple clippers with me. As always, have a great evening. And even though they be messing these draft picks up, go Browns. Peace.